I don't know. I was just really taken aback by this note breakdown. So we have a linen accord. We have, this is really interesting, fig, sandalwood, a milk accord, cashmere wood. So I thought this is going to be super creamy, very rich, very elegant, all of those things, but also perhaps a bit sensual, a bit playful. And this one has some beautiful, beautiful notes and such a beautiful olfactive profile. But again, you have to be into these types of scents. The creamy fig, the creamy sandalwood, the milk accord, just adding to the deliciousness. This is Unseen by House of Dastan. Now, I had this small travel atomizer, which is interesting. I picked that one up a while ago. And I said, why? Because I wish I would have gotten the bigger bottle of it. And lo and behold, I was sent the big bottle. So thank you so much to the folks at House of Dastan for hooking it up. I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on this fragrance, which I think is such a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. But before I dive into the video, I do want to mention that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, and of course, if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. It would really, really mean a lot to me. So for the moment, I think this is an exclusive to MAXAROMA.com. So if you're interested in sampling it or purchasing it, either this size or a smaller size, you have a slew of options available at MAXAROMA. So please take advantage of it. Beautiful fragrance. And this is one where, in hindsight, and I kept telling myself, you know, with the citrus and the creamy sandalwood and all of these like really bright, luminous ingredients, I think this would have been a better option for the spring and summer, until I continued to play around with it. And I'm like, you know what? With the richness of the woods and the milk accord, that subtle sweetness that is kind of serving as a motif in the dry down, I think this one would also work well in the fall and winter. And so I definitely look forward to wearing this one over the next few months, just to see how it works and how it performs. But I'm going to be honest with you, this I think is going to be better for a romantic evening. I think if I'm looking for something that is very bright and outgoing and charismatic and all those things, I'm going to go with something a bit more heavy on the citrus, just because I find those fragrances to be quite active. This one, in my opinion, is going to be more suitable for, kind of like I said, a romantic evening. It has the sweetness in here. It has a creaminess of the sandalwood. It smells quite rich and opulent. I wonder if the perfumer is Richard Herpon, who has also done many other, if not all of the other House of Dastan fragrances. I believe it is. He also has his own brand called Precious Liquid, which is a beautiful, beautiful brand. I've been enjoying Miami Sunrise as of late, which is a mango-based offering. But, you know, MAXAROMA does have the entire House of Dastan collection because they're the ones who created the collection, right? It's basically a sister brand, if you will. House of Dastan is beautiful. It is a beautiful, rich, creamy, fig, slightly sweet, milky, lactonic sandalwood fragrance. Now, this linen accord, it's a fantasy note, right? It's an imaginary note. What does linen smell like per se? Well, if you're washing it and you're using a fabric softener, then you're smelling the fabric softener, right? Or the laundry detergent. But at the end of the day, it opens up with this slight sweetness. It's a bit milky and creamy. And you think to yourself, okay, is it the fig that I'm smelling? Which, by the way, fig is also a fantasy note. There's a lot of coconut smelling molecules that are used to create a fig accord. So I do get a bit of that in the opening, that coconut / fig combination. But it's not simple. It's not on its own. It's actually, enhanced by a lot of other ingredients in here. So in other words, if you smell something like Philosykos by Diptyque, I get a lot of fig from that one. There isn't much else happening in the fragrance. It's just fig, right? And then you have some other fig-based fragrances that combine the fig with some other really interesting, I've seen like gourmand takes on fig. I've seen like very fresh green herbal takes on fig. So this is a creamy, rich, seductive take on fig. And I love it. The sandalwood in here is beautifully, beautifully done. And again, it's not a plain sandalwood. I think there was a Kilian Paris fragrance called Sacred Wood. That was a great sandalwood. Probably one of the best that I've tried. And then, I don't know, I know they had discontinued it for a while. I'm not sure if it's still discontinued or if they brought it back. I hear conflicting things. But House of Dastan Unseen is a beautiful, rich, creamy, milky type of a fragrance where you do have some woods in here besides the sandalwood. I don't think it's on its own in this fragrance, but it's just so rich, so warm, so enveloping. And another adjective that I would use to describe this is actually cozy. I think there's a certain coziness that is established with this fragrance while not taking it in a boozy, ambery, or cinnamony direction. Take, for example, Angel Share by Kilian Paris. I've always said that fragrance to me comes across smelling a bit cozy as well. This one, not so much. It doesn't go in that direction. It smells cozy, no doubt, but it doesn't have that boozy, rich, cinnamony, spicy, ambery type of a vibe, but it's creamy. It's a little sweet. It has this lactonic presence. It has that linen accord. So Unseen by House of Dastan is a really special fragrance and one that I foresee myself wearing over the next few months. I am going to be honest with you. I think that in the winter time, there's going to be better contenders out there. So I don't necessarily think I'm going to be wearing this one in like December, Jan, and Feb. I think this one is great for like October and November. And then maybe halfway through December, I'll probably swap it out with something else in my collection. But this is a wonderful fragrance from the brand. If you haven't tried anything by House of Dastan, I think in terms of mass appeal and versatility, Unseen is probably a good one to start with. I know there are others like Y, question mark. I think that's what it's called. Is it called Y? No, U, sorry. There's another perfume called Y, not by YSL, but it's like a dupe of YSL's Y, and it's called Y. It's called U with a question mark. That one is also a great one to try. U, question mark. This one, Unseen, is a great fragrance. Super mass appealing, super versatile. And I mean, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, it doesn't smell like any other fig-based fragrance that I've tried. So really appreciate it for that. In terms of the longevity, 8 hours on my skin. Projection, it was just a tiny bit beyond an arm's length for the first hour of application. It became an elbow's length scent right around hour 5, a skin scent right around hour 7 or 8, depending on your skin chemistry, of course. Versatility on this fragrance, you can wear it all year round except for the winter time. I think this one is more, it could be casual and dressed up as well. I just think it's not as sporty and not as outgoing as some other fragrances that I have in my collection, but you know, to each his or her own. Presentation, I really love the bottle. It's so unique. I haven't seen a presentation like this before. And then of course, there is an outer box that I am not displaying on camera. The inner box has, you know, a nice silhouette of the bottle. It rests in here very nicely, very comfortably. You have the little tab, so it helps you take the bottle out. Anyway, the final verdict on this fragrance is it's such a different, beautiful take on the note of fig, which is a fantasy note. And I love all the other ingredients that are used in this fragrance to kind of bring the whole thing together. And this is one that I am personally very happy to have in my collection, now in 2 sizes. So thank you so much, MAXAROMA. Appreciate that. Look, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me. That was my take on Unseen by House of Dastan. If you own or have tried this fragrance, I would personally love to know what you think. So please drop your comment down below. And also, if you took anything of value from today's episode, please do consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and also giving this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. It would truly mean a lot to me. So thank you again so much for joining me. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.